What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to make a video talking about sketching without fear, how important it is to just sketch and draw whatever comes to your mind. I think a lot of artists need to hear this topic because I think we can get stuck in copying and not using our imagination fully to find out what we actually creatively want to make. And you can get kind of stuck in these like patterns that you don't want to get into. But yeah, so let's get into it. The first thing I want to show you is some of my sketchbooks here, and some examples of some sketches that are bad, I guess you could say, but were really important in making some art pieces that I made in the future. All right, so here's one page that I wanted to show y'all. And I got these two images here. This one really is the important one, but this is just like a sketch page where I didn't really think about what I was doing. I wasn't looking at an image. I wasn't doing anything. I was just going straight from my mind. And this one right up here, I think is the most important one. This ended up being a really cool piece of art that is one of my favorites that I've made. If I hadn't just hopped into it and tried to make something freehand with my imagination, I would have never came up with this idea. I'll put the art up on screen and show you what this turned into. But I just want to show you, like, this is an example of a bad piece of art in my sketchbook, like a bad sketch that I think was really important. And like, there's been many times where I've sketched out a piece, same with this one down here, and allowed my imagination to take over, and it ended up being really important to making a cool piece of art in the future. So yeah, that's something I wanted to show you all right there. I think this is a good page too, because it just shows you how bad some of my sketches can be. I was messing with perspective here, trying to figure out how to draw things the right way. And you can see that I go through a lot of crap to get where I want to be. A lot of random, unprofessional looking sketches, but this is from my mind, right? I'm not looking at images. I'm just trying to figure out how to draw hands, how to draw perspective from my mind. And I encourage you to do this more often, like draw from your mind, not using references, because it really like exercises your brain and you start seeing things, seeing what's wrong, seeing what's right. And I think that's really important to use your imagination when you're creating, because that's how you actually develop, your style, I guess your personality in your art. You have to use your imagination. You can't always copy. And so here's an example of just a really bad page that I think is important. Like I practiced some hands, I practiced some perspective things here, and even though it looks awful, I came up with a funny idea of this cat guy, I guess, at this moment, and I ended up drawing cats a bunch more down the line because of this one creepy looking dude I drew here. I'll show you a piece, like a cat that I drew later in the future that I think, honestly, I think this one played a part in that. It was the first like cat I drew. Me drawing on this page randomly brought me to drawing a cat, and I don't know why that happened, but because I continuously drew bad art until I'd made something that was interesting, I was able to make this piece up on the screen, and other cat art that I think is pretty cool. But yeah, I'll show you some more. So I guess the point I'm trying to get at here is that it doesn't really matter what you're drawing. Like, you can draw anything, and even though it may seem like you're drawing random crap that doesn't matter or it's not going to get you anywhere, in the long term it is helping you, because you're coming up with ideas, you're creating new images that will inspire you. You can inspire yourself to create new art pieces, and who knows how great those will be. But it takes these little sketches, making little things that come to your mind immediately, trying to draw it right away. One thing I also like to do is draw these little cards here, and they're just like a regular cards that you'd like write notes on, and I like to draw on these because they're tiny and I can quickly get an idea down. And I never use pencil on these. I always just use the pen and just go straight for the art. I never think about what I'm doing. I just, boom, I have an idea, I go for it right away. And I think this is really powerful because you will develop really good ideas and you won't feel the pressure of thinking like, oh, this is like my final art piece. I've used these papers to come up with new ideas. Not all of them yet, but I think some of them are going to be bad, some of them are going to be good. But each one has the potential to inspire you to make a cool piece of art in the future. I also do this in a little sketchbook. I don't have it with me right now, but I'll show you pictures. Drawing on little paper, I think, is a really good thing to do whenever you're sketching, because you can quickly get ideas down. And I don't know, if I feel a lot less of a pressure to make things perfect on small pieces of paper. So that's something you should probably try. But yeah, I just want to show you that these are like not perfect. These are just random sketches that don't really mean anything. I didn't really think about them. I just drew them. Um, and I think that's really important. You should start building up a sketchbook or sketches on pieces of paper that, you know, don't really mean anything. They just kind of are ideas, and you put them on the paper. And that's really all that matters. You want to put them on the paper because who knows what they'll do for you in the future. So yeah, I think that's something you should definitely try, is sketching from imagination, no references, all the time. No matter what you draw, it's okay to have terrible sketches. It's okay to make stupid drawings. Like this is a good page here. This is a character that I've drawn a lot, um, all over my sketchbook and final art pieces. But this like stupid page where I'm just like trying to figure out how to make his face look right, is super important. And I was able to draw a lot of different pieces from practicing this guy's face over and over again in all these different angles, um, and just make it more flawless. And that's what's so good about sketching and not being afraid, is because I can just, you know, draw this guy that some people may think is stupid, but I think is cool. And I could draw it wrong over and over again until I get it right. Um, and no one's going to care. No one's going to care about the sketches because they're sketches. Only you will. The only thing that could possibly happen from a bad sketch is that it exists on the paper, or you get inspired by it and make something better in the future. So that's why you gotta make bad sketches. This robot specifically right here is something I ended up using, and I ended up drawing a piece from, which I've showed in other videos, but this piece um, was very much inspired by doing stuff like this. And all of my ability to draw like these crazy lines from the top of my head without really thinking about it comes from doing sketches like this and just going for it. And I think doing this has developed my ability to just know where lines go, or where I would like them to be. And so whenever I'm drawing these things, I'm just like going like this all across the paper. And it ends up working out because I've made so many sketches like this one. And so I think that's really, really important to do. If you have an idea for something that you want to draw, like for me it's robots, then I would just practice doing the one thing that you think makes robots robots, which for me is really intricate lines and little details. And you have to make trash concepts of that idea over and over and over until you get something that's what you want, that you like, something that you actually like. And that takes time. Another example of my robots, I think this is a good one because I drew this straight from pen. I never finished this. I would consider this a sketch, but it's just another step in my ability to draw these intricate designs. I'm practicing the unique thing that I'm doing. Like I'm not really practicing like perspective. I'm not practicing any specifics like basic art concepts. I'm practicing how to make robots my way, which is cool because you're like, it's very unique, and you're practicing a skill that no one else is doing right now. It's your own skill. Like you're practicing your style, which is a very cool thing to do. Like when you develop your style and you practice your style, it develops you as an artist. It brings more enjoyment to art, I think, for me, whenever I'm practicing my style. So yeah, that's about all I want to talk about in this video. One thing I want you to do is either draw in your sketchbook or get some little post-it notes like I do, and only use pen and just wing it every freaking time. Wing your art over and over again, and let your brain, let your imagination take over and draw whatever you draw. Because you will inspire yourself to make something in the future if you keep sketching this way. If you keep sketching one takes over and over again, not trying to refine or erasing or anything, one takes over and over again, you will inspire yourself and you will become better at what you're trying to draw. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this helped you or inspired you to um, keep practicing and keep sketching art. And thank you for watching. I'll see y'all later.